The new system, agreed and set up by the FA, will allow 4 players for every Premier League or Championship club to be signed from abroad, an international signing, even if they don't meet the criteria for a work permit in this country.
Greetings viewers and subscribers, welcome back to Edvision TV. I'm your host Eddie Gona, and this is a channel where we look at sports differently. Now, good news coming out of England. New rules allow English clubs to sign players who do not meet work permit requirements. So what does this mean? English clubs can now sign players much easier. Okay, let's listen to this report.
Now let's move on to news that English football clubs will be very happy with.
Yes, the FA have announced a rule change that will allow clubs to sign some international players even if they don't meet the work permit criteria. Rob Dorset has the details.
This is a groundbreaking agreement which fundamentally changes the international transfer market for English clubs. Clubs from the Premier League right down to League Two. No longer will we report that an agreement for a transfer of an international player has been agreed, quote, subject to a work permit. That FA panel which assessed that criteria is now defunct. The government threatened to intervene here if the football authorities couldn't work this out between themselves. So the good news for the FA, the Premier League and the EFL is that they've managed to reach an agreement without the government stepping in. And it seems that there has been compromise on all sides. The new system, agreed and set up by the FA, will allow 4 players for every Premier League or Championship club to be signed from abroad, an international signing, even if they don't meet the criteria for a work permit in this country. In Leagues 1 and 2, by the way, that limit is now going to be set at 2 players. But in exchange for that, the Premier League and the EFL clubs have promised to work closely with the FA on, quote, improving the pathway for talented English youngsters. And if clubs fail to maintain current levels or improve current levels of game time given to English players, then the number of international players they're allowed to sign will reduce. Instead of 4 for Premier League clubs, it might be reduced to 3 or to 2 or further reductions. Probably the biggest winners here, you have to say, are clubs in the Championship who've long wanted to sign players from abroad, but often found them too expensive if they've had to pick those players that meet very strict criteria for a work permit. So the Premier League, the EFL and the FA will all privately hail this as a big victory. I think in truth there's been compromises on all sides, but nevertheless it's a huge breakthrough in a really difficult and important issue which 3 months ago seemed insurmountable.
Wow, big news. EPL teams can now sign up to 4 players without a work permit. The same goes for Championship. League 1 and League 2 will be able to sign 2 players. So that's great stuff. Good news for Jamaican footballers. Good news for Reggae Boyz who look to move to England. A pathway has now been opened. As we know, players have missed out on getting that big break and move to England, simply because of Jamaica not being in the top 50 in the FIFA rankings. So this will now be changed. So I know you might be wondering what are the criteria as it relates to getting a work permit. Now, until 2015, football players needed to have played in at least 75% of their country's senior international matches over the previous 2 years to play in the UK. The eligibility for a GBE was depending on the national team's FIFA ranking. Now, when your international team was ranked 1 to 10, you required 30% and above of international matches in the past 2 years. Ranking 11 to 20, 45%. FIFA ranking 21 to 30, 60% and above. FIFA ranking 31 to 50, 75% and above. And in a case of a player's age 21 and under. At the time of application, the period is reduced to 1 year. So that's the criteria now, and it still will be in place, but for 4 lucky players from an EPL club, this criteria would not matter. Now, if you're a Jamaican and you're lucky enough to make that 4 from an EPL team, or that 2 from a League 1 or League 2 team, that would be good. Jamaica's ranking would not affect your transfer move. But if you're not a part of that 4 or 2, then Jamaica's ranking will affect that move. So it's a lot easier now for players to move, but the door has not flung all the way open. It's now halfway open. Before that, it was just like a peep, but it's halfway open now, and players now have a huge opportunity to make their dreams come true in Europe, UK specifically. Now they just need to be an outstanding talent that a team can say, hey, you can be one of my 4 signings that don't require a work permit, or you can be one of my 2 signings that do not require a work permit. So there you have it, fans. Some good news, great news actually coming out of UK. But this should not stop the Jamaicans, the Reggae Boyz, from doing their best. Still try and improve that ranking, get it under 50, so that everybody has a chance. Let me know what you guys think about this new rule. Drop your comments in the comment section below. And always remember, like, share and subscribe.
Hi, I'm Daniel Blake, sports journalist, telling you to like, share, and subscribe to Eddie Vision.